The gold rush of 1848 in Coloma, California brought 300,000 people to the city. Now gold seems to have settled down, but are we due another bull run which could lead to a gold rush? So the gold rush began on January the 24th, 1848, and it lasted until roughly 1855. James W. Marshall found gold at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. The news of this gold brought 300,000 people to the city. There's no longer a rush for gold right now. That is until at least deposits grow thin and another source of gold is found. When this happens, the price could rocket. It could also go down, potentially great for buyers, bad for holders. Case in point, estimates gold will run out by 2050. However, those estimates are very broad as pockets of gold sources are still continually popping up. But there's no doubt, in my opinion, that gold is getting mined a lot more than it used to be, and sources are probably getting a lot harder to find. I mean, all you have to do is look at the history of the price of gold bullion in the last 20 years. It's gone up over 500%, a considerable difference to that of silver bullion. Now, is another gold rush coming? Well, I think it's a very, very broad statement. But in the future, if mines and the source of gold bullion does get depleted through, of course, people finding it and harvesting it, then like anything, when there is a huge demand for an item and not enough source to give that item to those people, it pushes the value up. So I could see, if there was a massive source of gold bullion found, a potential gold rush in the next few decades. Because if there is a limited source and a huge amount is found, there would be potentially a bit of a rush to get their hands on that gold bullion. Now, what would that do to the price of gold bullion? Well, some could say that if there was a massive source of gold bullion found, it could theoretically lower the price of gold bullion, because like I said earlier, if there's a lot of something and there's plenty to go around, it tends to lower the value. However, on the other topic, it could potentially increase the price because more people will be buying it, and it will again prove to be one of those investments that is just super safe at preserving your capital against inflation. I personally don't see the need to worry about the fact that there could be a gold rush. As a stacker myself who owns several bits of gold bullion, I'm happy for the price to go up. I'm happy for the price to go down. Essentially for me, it's a wealth preservation device to hedge against that inflation. I like to think of it as a form of savings while my other money is working for me in investments like buy-to-lets or index funds. Case in point, the S&P 500. I'm a big fan of that, but that's a different topic. So yeah, I don't think there's a particular gold rush on its way very soon. There could be bull runs in the time for gold bullion, no doubt. You know, if certain things happen in the global financial markets, especially to do with precious metals, maybe a country liquidates a big portion of their holdings or potentially buys up some, there could be bull runs. But as somebody who invests on a dollar cost averaging basis, I tend to not get too caught up in the highs and lows of buying gold and silver bullion. When I first started stacking, it's definitely something I looked at a lot more. Before purchasing any gold bullion, I used to consider the prices. I used to try and wait out to try and find lower prices when purchasing my gold bullion. But now, as I really understand gold bullion in its essence, I'm a long-term investor. I try to dollar cost average my way pretty much into all of my investments, and I have great faith that gold prices will increase over the next few decades. On the topic of silver though, that's a very different subject. It's got different uses, it's an industrial metal, it's a whole different topic. But for now, let's stick with gold bullion. So there could be potentially gold rushes in the future. I think it is unlikely that there would be a big gold rush like we saw in 1848, where it brought 300,000 people to the location. In general, I think gold is a lot more stable now. I think there's a lot of it around. A lot of people are holding gold. So I don't see there being a huge panic if there was a big source of gold found. I think there would be excitement around that. A lot of precious metal stackers, I think, tend to not worry too much about the ups and downs of the markets, at least with their investment into precious metals, because that's not really what it's for. As we know, it's a wealth preservation device to look after your capital, to beat that inflation. And you can figure out other investments that maybe might be more beneficial, looking into the prices, whether they go up and down. But overall, I think a gold rush potentially could happen in the future when sources get a bit more depleted. But as of now, I don't see it happening. If you stayed till the very end of this video, you are fantastic and I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. A big shout out to the channel members. You make up to 14% of the channel revenue, so it does mean a lot. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in the very next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.